Welcome back to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. I'm Coach Jolie, and today I'm joined by Coach Adam and Coach Tara. And today we're going to be talking about lifting weights, how it's not going to make you bulky, why it's not going to make you bulky. But before we dive in, we want to give a shout out to a member of the week. Tara, do you have somebody in mind?
Yes, the member of the week this week will be Pam Ball. And Pam's the member of the week this week because in talking with her, I love how she has prioritized her training. She has an unusual schedule, an unusual work schedule, and she makes sure that she plans her work schedule around her training schedule. With her job, she's constantly traveling. She's in and out. And I've talked to her on one day where she was like, yeah, I was on the plane here this morning and then I got here and it was noon and she was in the gym. I said, wait a minute, like you were in a different state like 4 hours ago? She's like, yeah, and just went home, changed clothes and got here.
So consistent.
So
cool.
And then throughout the workout, she's pushing herself. She's trying to lift more weight. She just wants to get better and she's doing what she can by prioritizing her time in the gym, using that time efficiently to get better. So,
yes.
Shout out to Pam this
Side
week.
note, best focus faces.
The best faces.
I think. In
Pam,
the gym.
Very true. Pam, you're awesome. We love you. We just finished a strength phase too. And I remember just catching her after one of her workouts and she was like, I went up in almost every exercise today in my weights because she's logging them and everything. So
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt. Way to go, Pam.
Ballin'.
All right.
Dad joke.
Oh my gosh. All right. So perfect segue into today's topic. Will lifting weights make you bulky, especially women over 40? So, gosh, where do we even begin? Just will weightlifting make me bulky? I feel like just all of us have gotten that question asked at a million points in our coaching careers. So,
Why don't we start with what it does improve weightlifting?
let's
Metabolism, posture, bone density, longevity, confidence. If you're doing it correctly, you're not going to it's hard to come in the gym and just put on weight and size. Like it's not going to happen. So we're trying to increase lean muscle, right? Lean muscle, what does that do? That's going to burn more calories, which will in turn burn more fat. So the goal of weight training is to increase your muscle mass so that those things can happen. What's the word that I'm looking for? Not actively, but
in conjunction together.
Yeah. So that the bone density aspect kind of goes to the longevity portion. So, it's not just aesthetics that, a lot of times that can be in the forefront of the brain, but there's other benefits to it that are going to be beneficial for the rest of your life. Like also joint health, things like that bother people, especially as they age. And then confidence as well. I feel like a lot of times that comes as a result of the aesthetic results that occur. But, just being comfortable, I think more comfortable in the gym. We see a lot of people that come in here like completely lost, right? For like the first couple of weeks, and then to see them like adapt and get used to the environment is, I don't know. I mean, for me at least, it's cool to see. So I think they must get, some kind of like a good feeling out of that, being more familiar with the gym, not just walking in and not knowing what to do or just unfamiliar with things. So, yeah.
You definitely gain a level of confidence when you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's hard to walk into a space, into an area, and you just don't know what's going on. So being comfortable and feeling confident will help help you with that success of getting further and progressing more to what you want.
Right. Definitely. And especially when we kind of tie this back to being functional, like aging gracefully, if you will, right? And we're looking at building that bone density, things like that. Women over the age of 40, right? I forget the statistic. Is it like every decade we lose up to 3%?
After 30, every decade you can lose 3 to 5% of muscle mass, which again will also affect your bone density. So like what Adam was saying about how weight training, one, you're increasing muscle mass because that's basically your primary goal in lifting is to get muscle mass. Everyone loves the word tone, but it's just increasing muscle mass, and which in turn helps with that improving bone density or maintaining bone density. Not that you're improving it. It can improve, but more so maintaining it, helping to slow down the breakdown or slow down that the density, because as we age, things will stop and slow down just because of what we're doing and how life takes us. But with weight training, you can slow that process. So it doesn't have to be that 3 to 5% muscle mass that you lose. You can actually slow that down to 1 or less than 1% as you age and continue to go through to help with your overall quality of life, your movement quality and stuff like that as you age.
Right.
Yeah. I think physiologically too, like women just don't produce enough testosterone to put on large muscle mass amounts anyways.
No.
Yeah.
So either your diet or your training or conjunction of both of them are going to have to be like extreme.
It takes a lot to bulk, you guys. It takes a lot.
Yeah,
You
for that to have
be
effect.
dedicated, and that has to be your goal.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing that,
it's not just going to happen. Right.
Right. Yeah. You were saying you were like, Tara, you were just telling me you were like, I've been lifting for 20 years. And,
I started lifting when I was 11 years old. Throw my age out there, I'm 35. I have not bulked up yet.
Still waiting.
Still waiting for that. And that's as an elite athlete for 10 plus years. Like, I have not bulked up, and that's lifting 4 to 6 days a week. Like, max weight, strength, total, all of it. Like, I have not bulked up yet.
Yeah.
So it has to be purposeful.
Yeah. And like, I think a lot of people, at least in like kind of big box gyms, they'll go in with the purpose of hopping on some kind of cardio machine, especially women, for some super long duration of time. But I think cardio can be like, it can be best summed up as cardio is going to burn the calories right here, right now. Putting on muscle mass and strength is going to burn the calories all day,
Throughout
consistent.
the day.
So yeah, you can go and like torture yourself and walk on a track for an hour if you have an hour of nothing else you want to be doing with your life. You can do that if you want, but you can then, go grab lunch and the calories are right back in your body. It's like, so you're just, I think that's like a thing we need to be like debunked. It's like, you shouldn't be afraid of the strength training. That's what's gonna be a consistent calorie burner for you. If that's what you're fixated on, is that, being in that caloric deficit, the cardio is not going to do that for you. So that could be a reason why you want to prioritize your strength training and adding muscle mass as opposed to just endless cardio. I feel like that's an issue a lot of the time.
Definitely is. Yeah. People think like, oh, I can see the calories that I'm burning on a treadmill, so this must be working for me. But I think as we were talking about, like, lifting heavy is going to be what builds that lean muscle, getting that quote unquote toned look that people love to come in and say, I just want to tone up a little bit. And what they mean is they want to drop body fat and build muscle, but people don't want to always look at it in that way. So don't know how. Yeah.
And that's not going to come by lifting 5 pounds.
No.
You have to lift the weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, stay within yourself, but it's okay to also push yourself.
Yeah.
5-10 pounds. If that's where you start and that's where you need to start, that's where you start. But you can't stay there.
Yeah. Progressive overload.
You have
We
to
talked
progress.
about it. Yeah. We talked about it.
Yep.
And you got to show your muscle new stimulus, or, you're going to run into plateaus. Then you don't have the muscle mass increasing. Then you're not seeing results. Then you're discouraged. Boom, boom, boom. So it's a snowball effect.
Yeah. And if you don't know how to push yourselves, that's what we're here for.
Come to Legacy.
Come to Legacy. Come lift.
We'll push you.
Come lift with us. We'll push you. We'll show you. We'll help you get lean, help you get toned up, guys. Awesome. Anything we're forgetting about just the idea of bulking? It's hard to debunk something that's been so ingrained, especially for women who are just afraid to lift anything over 10 pounds. Even your purses are over 10 pounds. I would beg to differ, but beg to argue. I feel like we hit it all.
Yeah.
I think like we mentioned, the biggest thing about bulking is you have to have that has to be your purpose, because if you're not purposely trying to do it, the intensity level that you have to have, the dedication that you have to have, the caloric intake you have to have, like you have to eat a lot to bulk up. Like, and a tendency that just people have in general, we all have a tendency to undereat before we overeat. Not, I mean, it's individualized, but for the most part, you're looking at eating stuff like that. It's just like, you have to do too much to bulk. And in this setting,
It's like harder.
In this setting, we're not setting you up for that.
Yeah.
You're not set up to bulk here. So you would have to change your setting, have to do a whole bunch of other different things in life.
Yeah.
To make that happen. And then it's just not going to happen.
No, not going to happen.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. All right, guys. In short, lift your weights. Don't be afraid to lift heavy. Don't be afraid to get pushed. Come to Legacy. Get pushed.
Get pushed.
Awesome, you guys. All right. We'll be back next week with more great stuff.
Thank you so much for listening to the Healthy Living Scottsdale podcast. Do you have a question that you'd like for us to answer live on the podcast? If so, all you need to do is head over to the Apple Podcast app on your iPhone and do 3 simple things. First, leave us a rating and review telling me what you think of the podcast. In that review, ask anything you want related to health, fitness, or nutrition. And if you want a shout out, leave us your Instagram handle or name. That's all you have to do. Then listen to hear your questions answered live on the next Q&A episode.